All right, welcome to this special edition of Hannity, Act 2, the Deep State's Day of Reckoning. Now, tonight, we are now inching closer and closer to real truth, real justice, and holding those who abuse power at the highest levels accountable. For over 2 years on this program, we have watched a political witch hunt like we've never seen in American politics before, based on lies and smears and outright conspiracy theories. And just like we've been telling you all week, the Russia hoax has now completely unraveled. Mueller report is over. It is dead. It is buried. We have now had 4 separate investigations. Oh, the FBI 9-month investigation, House Intel Committee, bipartisan Senate committee, and even the Mueller report. No collusion, no conspiracy with Russia. And as we predicted, it is now boomeranging right onto those who did abuse power, did try to influence the outcome of an election, and then overturn a duly elected president.
Pete, the left is absolutely terrified. Bill Barr was the perfect guy for this job to investigate this case because Bill Barr has nothing to lose. He is only in this for the truth. He does not care about history's judgment of his interpretation. He cares about the truth. And the truth, Pete, is terrifying. The truth is this, which I and many others have been saying for a very long time, Sarah Carter, John Solomon. The United States government, in conjunction with people on foreign soil connected to an intelligence infrastructure, spied on what we now know are innocent Americans in order to advance a political agenda and impact the election to hurt Donald Trump. That is no longer in dispute. How do we know that? Because the person they spied on, Carter Page, and the information they used to spy on him from foreign sources, by the way, led to absolutely nothing. Carter Page is an innocent man to this day. He has never been charged. That's what they're hiding.
Listen to Attorney General Barr to understand that this is exactly what is happening. And as far as Lieutenant General Michael Flynn, Victoria is 100% right. I mean, Michael Flynn was, as she said, a thorn in their side, but he came from their administration. He knew where the bodies were buried. He understood what was going on. And as soon as they saw him join up with Trump, and as soon as they saw, they were terrified. They were terrified.
Welcome, fellow digital soldiers, to True Reporting. It is the 1st of June, and on today's podcast, we'll be covering an article about Disney and why the CEO says it will be difficult to film in Georgia if abortion laws take place. And the reason being so is because people will not want to work there if the law takes effect. My friends, we know from Gaffer Anon, who has talked much about Georgia and how it could be the new Hollywood because of tax laws. Basically, the tax is a lot cheaper in Georgia rather than in California. So we'll see where this goes. We'll also be going over some memes and some other news. But before we do so, will you please welcome my new sponsor, PatriotSupply.com. Hey guys. We've seen some devastating weather disasters recently. Too much of our nation's farmland remains underwater, and storms continue to rake the heartland, knocking out power repeatedly to millions. It's been a bad year so far, and hurricane and wildfire seasons are just getting underway. When emergencies strike and the power goes out closing stores, you should have a backup food supply standing by, in your home, ready for use. Have you seen the 2-week food supply and a locking tote from My Patriot Supply? If not, get online now and get one. Right now, this 2-week emergency food kit is being sold at 45% off the regular price when you go to my special website, preparewithtruereporting.com. Breakfast, lunches, and dinners that last up to 25 years. My Patriot Supply ships fast too. In one business day, it's right to your door. When it's breaking news, it's too late to prepare. Do this now so there are no surprises. And save 45% at preparewithtruereporting.com. That's preparewithtruereporting.com. All right, guys, it's good to have you aboard. Let's go ahead and hop into it. This is True Reporting. So we see here Disney CEO says it will be difficult to film in Georgia if abortion law takes effect. Anaheim, California Rutgers says Walt Disney co-chief executive Bob Iger told Rutgers on Wednesday it would be very difficult for the media company to keep filming in Georgia if a new abortion law takes effect because many people will not want to work in the U.S. state. That is so absurd. What does this have to do with making movies? Disney has filmed blockbuster movies in Georgia such as Black Panther and Avengers Endgame, and it would be a blow to the state's efforts to create production jobs if the entertainment giant stopped filming there. Georgia's Republican governor signed into law on May 7th a ban on abortion after a doctor can detect a fetal heartbeat about 6 weeks into a pregnancy before many women know they are even pregnant. The law is due to take effect on January 1st if it survives court challenges. Asked if Disney would keep filming in Georgia, Iger said it would be very difficult to do so if the abortion law is implemented. I'd rather doubt we will, Iger said in an interview ahead of the dedication for a new Star Wars section at Disneyland. I think many people who work for us will not want to work there and will have to heed their wishes in that regard. Right now, we are watching it very carefully. If the law takes effect, I don't see how it's practical for us to continue to shoot there, he added. Georgia is one of 8 states to pass anti-abortion legislation this year for the purpose of inducing the U.S. Supreme Court to overturn Roe v. Wade, the 1973 landmark case that established a woman's rights to terminate her pregnancy. The state offers a tax credit that has lured many film and TV productions, and that validates Gaffer Anon because that's the main reason they want to film there, because they're selfish and they want to go to a lower tax state. And these people are sick. I would completely just boycott Walt Disney altogether. You know, to hell with all of his movies. Who even watches movies anymore? The entire industry is collapsing in front of us because they are messing with humanity in such a way that it's actually affecting generation after generation. The industry is responsible for more than 92,000 jobs in Georgia, according to the Motion Picture Association of America, and some 455 productions were shot in Georgia in 2018. According to the state, some actors and producers have already said they will no longer work in Georgia because of the abortion law, but many of the large production companies have remained publicly silent on the abortion law. On Tuesday, Netflix Incorporated said the streaming service would rethink its film and television production investment in Georgia if the law goes into effect. Hey, there you go. Boycott Netflix too. I have. In the meantime, Netflix will continue production there for now and work with groups that are fighting the law in U.S. courts. So guys, you know, that's just what they are. That's the entity that they've become. They are strictly political. They are strictly for abortion, and I am strictly aborting them. All right, guys, so we're going to go through some memes, and first and foremost, I'm not trying to start a war by any means, because I have also wondered if in the Matrix is such a bad guy, why would Q be reposting his tweets? And then someone sent this to me, and it says here that, do you believe in coincidences? Twitter in the Matrix. Think of context. Nothing to see here, Q. But it says that this is studying from the Democrats' playbook, and he's mentioning in the Matrix. So are we witnessing maybe a sabotage taking effect? I do not know, but it was something to look into. We can see the Sean Hannity is having a deep state show tonight on Fox News at 9 p.m., exposing the tremendous abuse of power that has been uncovered, tremendous guests, and a must-see. Enjoy. 11:11 a.m. Please watch that. Please know what that means. Numbers have a lot of meaning. You can think of Nikola Tesla, who thinks of numbers 3, 6, and 9. Numbers have meaning. It is an incredible thing to really get into. It's fascinating. If you have not seen this show, the Sean Hannity Deep State Show, it was amazing. I will leave the link in the description box below. As you can see from the intro, that was from that particular show. And during that show, we had the Virginia Beach shooting. My condolences go to anyone who was affected by that. I know we have a lot of fans here, a lot of listeners from around the United States that particularly could be from Virginia. So again, my condolences go to you and your family if you were affected by that. I consider it to be an FF because they wanted to block what was coming onto the show. A lot of validity and information coming from this show that shines light on what has been occurring. And Deep State 1111, we are witnessing history. And Jay-Z Night, we see here, number 1 in the Q trip codes list, 1111, Book of Information, Ramtha, The Last Waltz of the Tyrants. I actually own this book. I bought this book because it was one of the trip codes. And, now from what I see here, if you can actually YouTube this of Jay-Z Night just saying that she hates the Christian people, God's people. Seems quite racist. I know Red Pill 78 has covered that. He also had Shady Groove and In the Matrix on his live stream, I think last week, and it was a blowout. So, so number 1 in the Q trip codes list, 1111. What do you think of this? Go back here, 1111, Deep State, go back before that, and we see coincidences from the Democrat playbook in the Matrix. If you're unaware of what all this means, Jay-Z Knight is a woman who believes a 30,000, 35,000-year-old entity. She is the conduit of this entity, and he or whatever it speaks through her, and she is brought along in the Matrix, and I believe Shady Groove and maybe another person to go on tour with her. I believe that is what has been going on, and it may be just for a tour date to speak in front of a vast group of people. But it seems like they're trying to culminate the Q movement into this. A woman who says a 35,000-year-old entity who makes her say that God's children are garbage and that they should be eradicated. So seems like an inside move, right? Not for the best. So we see here Moss, alternative U.S. media plus U.S. politicians. Those who scream the loudest find the connection. 11111. So, here it is again. Logical thinking, marching to the same beat. Logical thinking. So you tell me, are people being coordinated to infiltrate this movement from the get-go? Seems to be. Again, I'm not trying to start a war, but I'm just trying to bring things to light, right? Because that's what I'm here for. So we can also see here, the real trade war begins 30 years ago and we lost. This is a bright new age, the age of enlightenment, new age of enlightenment. And these are all the tweets and Q posts that I showed you. Define corruption, wealth, power, power, influence, influence, control, rinse and repeat, right? And then we can see here 1111 to the 1111, 1111, 1111. So Ramtha School of Enlightenment, Barack Hussein Obama, Hillary Clinton, Deep State, right? That is also part of the gematria, I believe that is how it's pronounced. Deep State show in English gematria. If I pronounced that wrong, don't hate. Just bringing up things to speed, that was from Donald J. Trump, Age of Enlightenment. War began 30 years ago, a bright new age. Continuing forward, funny how this at Sean Hannity panel got interrupted. This is from my good friend Methods. Panel got interrupted with an update on the Virginia Beach shooting. If that doesn't explain why an FF has happened, I don't know what will. A lot of damning information. I mean, this was like a panel of all panels. This was like the Super Bowl of Sean Hannity program. That was quite interesting. Again, I will leave that video in the description box below. But, as you can see here, it was quite odd. Quite a coincidence, and we know there are no coincidences, that shooting happened and then during this filming. So this is pretty crazy. I wanted to share this with you too. There's a little bad language in here, so just a word of just a heads up. I am literally effing shaking with anger right now. I got a message from my son's kindergarten from his teacher saying she wants me and my wife and my son to go to transgender counselor or some crap at the school because she thinks my son is trans. She claims that my son was asked to draw himself, and two separate occasions he drew himself wearing a purple and yellow dress. When I saw the picture, it was clear that the picture was of him wearing a Lakers jersey, which he wears a lot at home. It even had the number 24 on it. When I told her that it was a jersey, she said we should still go and then effing threatened me by saying that forcing a child to be the gender they are not wanting to be is abuse and she would have to report it. Obviously, the number 24 is Kobe Bryant, a well-known basketball player. I consider myself a liberal, but I want off this crazy train. What the F is wrong with people? My son is effing 6. This is the indoctrination, guys. This is what they do. I've been posting a lot of this on Twitter. Again, follow me on Twitter at True Reporting, because this is what they do. This is indoctrination. You see these LGBTQ movements, these parades, and there are men that are 98% nude, shaking their asses, doing so on and so forth, in about 3 feet away from 4-year-old to 8-year-old children. And this is the indoctrination. This is poisoning of the mind. This is what has made this planet a sewer, okay? So we need to get rid of this, and I believe this is what's taking place. I believe that the Great Awakening, when we focus on this, the Great Awakening is also, about enlightenment, so on and so forth, about learning the truth, but it's also about waking up to these kinds of projects. That this is a deep state infiltration of society. And it doesn't get much worse than that, right, guys? Not cool at all. So, this is just one thing in particular, right? There's millions of these, they have transgender strippers coming into schools and at libraries and dancing for children and reading to children. You've seen it. I've seen it on InfoWars. Did you know there was an active shooter drill scheduled in Virginia Beach for tomorrow, 6/1? The more you know, right? From the outlaw Josie Wells. I suggest following him on Twitter also. I will be announcing my second term. This is the last meme of the day. I will be announcing my second term presidential run with the First Lady Melania. Here's the key right here. Vice President Mike Pence and Second Lady Karen Pence on June 18th in Orlando, Florida at the 20,000-seat Amway Center. Join us for this historic rally. Tickets, obviously, please go to that. I've been to one rally in South Carolina. It was a smaller one, but it was insane. So much fun. But the real question in right here that we see is presidential run with First Lady Melania and Vice President Mike Pence. So I know that a lot of people, a lot of YouTubers out there, a lot of people researching, people on Twitter, Reddit, so on and so forth, have said that Mike Pence could be deep state. If so, why is he reelected him to run with him, right? Maybe we've been wrong about Mike Pence. What are your suggestions? What are your thoughts on this? Please leave it in the comment section below. And my friends, that is it for today's podcast. If you found this informative and you enjoyed it, please subscribe to my channel. You can follow me on Twitter at True Reporting, and don't forget to leave a like. The more likes that this video receives, the more times it is recommended to other viewers, thus more eyes on the truth. You can donate to this channel and keep it afloat by going to my PayPal link and Patreon link in the description box below. Be kind and loving to one another, and I will speak with you guys very soon. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.